Hello and welcome to our 2025 July garden tour. This tour is going to be a bit different because things have not really been working out well and I am perplexed. So if anybody watching this has some idea of what's going on, please feel free to leave something in the comments because I'd love to hear it. I'm going to start with the good stuff first, which is our garlic harvest. So we were able to harvest a decent amount of garlic. This is the best garlic, the biggest garlic we've ever grown that I can remember since we started growing them. So they're hanging here to cure. There are quite a few that were getting too big and they started splitting, so they just went straight to the kitchen. And then I also have hanging over here, these are from spinach, so letting these dry out completely to collect the seed. And this is the grink. And there goes Sir Robin the Brave. Hello, Grommet. So this is a bed that I've completely abandoned. I just gave up on it. There's nothing we can do about it until I redo it in the fall and figure out some other way to protect it. But amazingly, despite the fact that I haven't been weeding or watering or anything of the sort, this lettuce that we got free seeds for a couple years ago is still growing. And we do still have a few onions struggling to survive. And yeah, I'm just letting these go to seed because they're worth it. Once again, we had next to nothing in the asparagus bed. This is the purple asparagus. But amazingly, this single massive spear of asparagus came out, and it's really tall and huge and going to seed. So I will be collecting seed when I am able to, and hopefully we'll be able to try growing asparagus from seed instead of buying crowns. Meanwhile, over here we have the sunchokes. They're not getting anywhere near as big as they have in the past, and I think that is directly because of this. We pruned the branches back and it's all grown back, so we need to prune it all back again. We actually need to get rid of these trees completely. Here we have the winter sown bed that was a tremendous success. The lettuce seeds that I put in here absolutely took over and became a weed, but we do have some beets trying to grow. They were choked out by the lettuce, but we have some things like this radish had gone to seed, but a deer ate the top. More radish going to seed. There's some yellow radish over there going to seed. And for the first time since I've tried first year, we've got plenty of these radish seed pods. And we did try pickling them, and they were quite good. Hello, Sir Robin. And even the deer are eating them, but not as much as the other things. So I'm going to be collecting more of these and try pickling them with a different recipe. Just try different ones. And yeah, so this is something we'll be doing again. And there's also some carrots in there that I should be able to harvest. Just munching on a radish pod here. So this I call a success, even though it was virtually destroyed by deer. This bed is one of the things I just don't know what to make of. The beans planted in the middle, they came up nicely and then just stagnated. They have grown next to nothing in the past month. So Robin, stop that. The tomatoes in the front, you can see that there are green tomatoes forming. These are the Subarctic Plenty. They should be bigger. I mean, they're not a big variety, but they should be bigger than this. So Robin, get down from there. Oh, big purrs. Now these two varieties we've grown before. This black variety, when we grew it before, they got absolutely massive and incredibly productive. And they had so much weight to them that they were actually pulling down the trellis that I had for them. So that's why I made an extra strong trellis this year. And there's nothing. There's like one tomato developing over here. And these ones are black cherry, I think. Anyways, we've grown them before as well. And 2 of the plants are getting big. But again, this trellis should be completely full. And they're just nothing. Now, if it was just one bed, that would be something in the soil or in this bed or whatever. But it's also this bed. This bed has the, orchard baby corn. This corn should be having tassels. This is a short season variety, and they germinated quite slowly. And hello. And yeah, so they should be much bigger. The beans in between, only one of them had germinated. Well, kind of 2. And I planted another batch, and they're basically the same size as the first one. They got to this size, and they've just stopped. So they're not getting any bigger. They're not blooming. They're not producing. Nothing. And then we get over to this. This corn was planted at the same time. It's quite a bit bigger, quite a bit more robust, but it's still, we still haven't reached the tassel stage. Now, the Arikara squash in here, we had that one cold night that almost killed a whole bunch of things, and of all the squash and melons that we planted, they have recovered the best. So you can see them going around, but they are still absolutely tiny. They should be much, much bigger. I have not removed the plastic around this because it still needs to be protected from the cats and whatnot, because things have just not grown. So that's this bed. Okay, here we're getting into the main garden area, and we have the same problem. This bed here, I made quite a push to get the trellis netting up on here, because these red noodle beans, after I planted, they germinated so quickly, started growing so fast, and then they just stopped. They have not grown any bigger in the past month. The sunflowers have been growing a bit, and even the one that got chomped by a deer is getting a new growth on there. These pumpkins were among the last things that got planted, and so they're doing all right. And if we look, when I was cleaning it up, I found some volunteer tomatoes that I kind of transplanted all over, so they're kind of sort of growing. And we got one last pumpkin over here, and some flowers. And then we got these onions that I found when I was cleaning up and transplanted. There's more of the volunteer tomatoes. But this bed, this netting should be covered in beans. We should be harvesting beans. And it's just not growing. And I don't know why. This bed was one of the winter sowing success stories. This radish that went to seed has been doing really well, but it has been the deer got to it. I should have had a cover over this bed, but this radish is so big, I could not put a cover over it. This is a carrot that has gone to seed, so I'm happy about that at least. That is, I believe, an Uzbek golden carrot. We do have some orange carrots in there, but I don't think any of them have bolted. But, oh, look at that. One got pulled out completely. There's a white turnip over there. Yeah, so just this morning, more of the greens were gone. Some of these beets were actually recovering from the last time. And all of the radish pods on some of these plants are just gone. So we've got I think it's just one deer that's showing up. But yeah, they're just doing a number. So I'm going to have to probably just harvest the rest of this bed and make do with what we can. Over here, we've got the nasturtiums, cosmos, and asters. Nasturtiums are blooming nicely. I think the cosmos will be blooming next, and then finally the asters. And as you can see, we have issues with cats. Like this stinky bugger. And then we have these. We've got the 3 types of melons along here. After that one cold night, in these ones, 2 out of the 4 died, but the others, they just never recovered. And they're all small, and I have no idea why. This at the end here is a zucchini that I thinned by transplanting, so this is a transplant, so I don't expect this to be big. And it's actually, I don't know, we'll see if it makes it. These spoon tomatoes. We've grown spoon tomatoes several years now, and they always got very tall and lanky and incredibly prolific. That's why I made such a tall trellis for them. And as you can see, yes, we do have tomatoes forming, and I've even eaten a few, but they're not thriving. They're not getting tall. They just stayed bushy, and that's it. In front of them, I planted the Royal Burgundy bush beans, and only 3 survived, including this one that got chomped by a deer, and it's recovering, but no other beans. And so what I ended up doing was I planted some Swiss chard in here, giant Ford hook, and that's what these seedlings are. But I don't even know if those are going to make it. So that's in this bed, and yeah, it is just not thriving. They're being watered. Everything's being watered regularly, especially the melons. And hey, you guys, and it's just got something similar here with the carrots. On this side are the Uzbek golden carrots, and again, they should be much bigger. These were direct sown, not winter sown, and so that's that. The peas were actually the best peas that we've ever grown. We got sugar snap peas and super sugar snap peas. And again, it's the deer. They've just been going by and munch. So there's hardly anything left. Little things like this only work if there's a wind. Again, these carrots, I've thinned them. Most of them are, it's the elm tree seeds that are causing problems. But again, it's just the deer going by, munch. But at least I've had enough that, I can snack on them when I'm, doing my morning rounds and checking on everything. As a potential deterrent, I did add these little decorations. They have solar lights in them, but that doesn't seem to be making any difference. So this bed here is our winter squash. We have baked potato and mashed potato on each end, and then we have the sunshine squash in the middle. And then I added later on, thinning by transplanting, this is a zucchini, and this is a zucchini. And as the other things, they got hit by that late night, that one night that temperatures dropped down to like 2 degrees, and they did suffer from the cold. But it wasn't frost, but it was just they suffered from the cold. They still had transplant shock, I think. And this is as far as they've recovered in 1 month. This bed should be absolutely overflowing with greenery, and there should be fruit developing and everything. And then we have this, the potatoes. The potatoes are dying back as if it's the end of their season, but they have never bloomed. I've looked up, there's one possibility that it was like a fungus or something, but I could rule that out. I was also able to rule out insect damage. So it is most likely a combination of heat and not enough water. I do water it, I just might not have been able to water it enough. So I don't know what we're going to get for potatoes out of here, because they're not looking good. Meanwhile, on this side, this is where the garlic was. So the garlic is all harvested, and I'm debating whether or not to plant something else in here or leave it for winter sowing. And this is my summer squash. I've got one surviving white scallop squash here, and the others are the black zucchini, it's called. So there's 3 over here that were not transplanted. This one over here was thinned by transplanting. And then there is a space over here I thinned by transplanting one of the white scallop squash. It did not survive. These should be big, massive, and we should be harvesting summer squash, and it's just not happening. This new bed is actually a bit of a surprise. I transplanted the bare root asparagus and 2 types of asparagus, 2 types of strawberries in here, but I'd left them too long, and so I did not expect them to survive. Much to my surprise, of the 5 Jersey Giant asparagus, we actually do have 1, 2, 3, 4 that have made it. So I don't know, maybe there's still some hope for the purple asparagus over here. None of the strawberries survived, so what I did was I rescued what was left of the Albion Everbearing strawberries from that bed over there and transplanted them into here. So they have, for the most part, survived and seem to be doing all right, which means that next year we should have strawberries in here, and who knows, we might have purple asparagus in here as well. Okay, here we have our 2 Haskep bushes, our cross-pollinators. They're still doing all right. We've got the apple tree over here and the gooseberry tree bush over here. And the plum tree had been doing absolutely amazing until the deer ate all of the leaves in all the branches that were outside of the cage like that we had around it. So I found taller versions of the same cage, got a pair of them to put around here, and it's hard to, I don't know if I can get it to focus, but the plum tree is recovering. So as long as I can protect this from the deer, we should have plums in a few years. And again, distractions only work if there's wind to blow them. But yeah, we almost lost this plum tree. Okay, now we get into our old kitchen garden. Got the walking onions over here that are trying to go hiking. We've got our herbs over here. And I probably shouldn't, but I've been allowing some self-seeded poppies and dill to grow in here. This bed, the winter sown bed, is doing really well. I just love how this kohlrabi is doing. And look at that. I mean, I suppose I could actually harvest this and try it out, but I wanted to get a bit bigger. The spinach is done. We're slowly letting those go to seed. Pulled up a few other things. We've got the Hinu Tiny Bok Choy that I'm allowing to go to seed. There was only a couple. So that's something that I want to try winter sowing again. And once they had enough light, the Swiss Charge that was in here, some have started to grow. There's more hidden inside there. And over here, I've got some mystery flowers in here, and the eggplant. The eggplant, you see flower buds, and that's been happening, but nothing seems to be going. These have also stalled. They did get a fair bit of cold damage. They seem to be recovering, so we'll see how that works out. And then we've got these old strawberries that will need to be transplanted out. So we are getting some strawberries in here. That is Havarti. Hello, Havarti. And an onion that got missed from last year is going to seed, so that's good. Look at that. Lots of strawberries in there. And then we have the peppers. This is the Sweetie Snack Mix. And they have been blooming. They do not appear to be damaged by that one cold night. Oh my goodness, this is it. This is the very first actual pepper I'm seeing starting to develop. I think that's a pepper. Is it? Nope. No, it's a flower bud. So that is a flower bud that has finishes blooming. It should become a pepper, and if it is, it'll be our first, because these plants should be huge and there should be peppers developing all over the place, and they're not. And so we have this all over the place, and I don't know why this is happening. Everything's just stagnating. It's not even just in the garden beds that things are having trouble. We've got a very warm greenhouse. The loofah should be absolutely thriving in here. And this is the big one. And the other one isn't even tall enough to go above the collar, the protective collar. They should be just thriving in here because they're protected, they have the heat, and they're just not growing. I almost forgot again. I'm looking at the Haskap over here. And this is the Mr. Haskap. And it is in bad shape. This looks like some sort of fungus. I'll go around all the way. And here's one of the Mrs. Haskap, Mrs. Honeyberry. And it's the same thing, they're not doing well. This little one is even worse. So it looks like these Haskap bushes are a loss. I wasn't planning to head out here and take a video of our walnut trees, but ended up walking out here and decided I had to. This was the 1-year sapling that I planted, and it's been mulched. So half of it is gone. So a deer indulged in this one. And if we go on across, I'm happy to say that this one at least appears untouched. So this is one of the ones that came out from seed, and it's looking nice and healthy. And then we have another one over here, also from seed. So far so good. And then we had one more that had finally germinated, and there's no sign of it. Like not even a little bit of a stem or anything, just nothing. And one last area to look at. These are our grapes, which actually do seem to be doing very well. They've been largely neglected. I haven't been able to water them regularly, but they are being watered. And so we've got lots of grape clusters all over the place. And hopefully we'll be able to harvest some grapes before the raccoons eat them all. Oh, and yeah, that's our July garden tour. And I'm absolutely perplexed. Yes, we've had heat, and that could have something to do with the problem we've been having. But we've had hotter years. We've had hotter summers. Could be the lack of rain, but we've had a drought year before, and things like, the melons, they thrived in it. And this year, just the things that we direct sowed and the things that we transplanted are really struggling. The only things that had any sort of success were the things we planted in the fall, which is a game changer for us. I'm going to be doing a lot more fall planting now. But yeah, I'm just at a total loss. If anybody has any ideas as to what's going on, I would love to hear it, because I'm not finding anything in common between all these beds that I could pinpoint as a cause other than weather. And honestly, I can say it's not the weather either, because we've had worse. Anyhow, that's our July 2025 garden. Hope you enjoyed it.